Smith. Number 50, Dwight Everett. The officials for tonight's ball game, the referee, Ernie Deaton. The umpire, Randy Cole. Head linesman, Gary Rowland. The line judge, Buddy Goins. And the back judge, John Morgan.
Parents' Night, 1988, as the Benton Panthers are set to do battle with the Trojans from Hot Springs. And boy, they look big and awesome and ready. Do both teams. And I think that kind of says exactly the way both ball clubs look. The captains are at midfield right now, waiting the toss of the coin.
Bill, the Benton captains are Dwight Everett, the senior center for the Panthers, and Shane Smith, senior cornerback for the Panthers. The Hot Springs captains, David White, their senior quarterback, and Philip Childs, their senior fullback.
You know, I'm going to say this while we're waiting for the coin toss. Probably the most overlooked person on a football team is the center, and yet what a marvelous job it is, and what a heck of a job they have to do. The Panthers have won the toss, and they will defend the south goal here at C.W. Lewis. They will kick to Hot Springs.
Well, they're going to receive the ball.
They will?
Yeah.
I thought he said Benton won.
They did win, and
I just automatically assumed they would defer to the second half.
Well, Coach Dwight Fight decided tonight that he wanted to take the football from the very start. He wants Benton to have a good start against Hot Springs, because Hot Springs is a quick starting football team. And they have been when they've won it all through the season, as you're used to.
So as he said in the pregame, let's play ball control and start right.
Keep their offense off the field and try to establish something right off.60
quickly, why don't you run down the starting lineups for both clubs, Rob?
All right, for the Panthers on offense, their quarterback is sophomore Brad Collett, 6'1", 160-pounder. Behind him, the fullback, a senior Randy Wright, 5'8", 145 pounds. The halfbacks, the main cogs in the offense, Robert Godino, 5'10", 180 pounds, and Kirk Shelnut, 6', 185 pounds. Both are seniors. Tight end is Drew Yoakum, 6'1", 220-pound junior. Senior Jamie Jones, 5'10", 155 pounds, is the split receiver. The tackles, Dennis Bird, 6'3", 235, a senior. Michael Teague, 6', 170, a senior. The guards are Sam McCampbell, a 5'11", 220-pound junior. David McGee, a 5'11", 270-pound junior. And the center, as we said, Dwight Everett, 6'4", 235, a fine one. He's a senior as well. For the Trojans on defense, across the front line, defensive ends are David Gaston, 6'1", 225, a senior. David Walmack, 6', 190 pounds. We're about ready for the kickoff. We'll get to the rest of their defensive lineups as we can.
We'll set them up after we get this kickoff out of the way. To do the kicking for Hot Springs, it will be, I'm trying to pick up his number and he's sideways to me. Can you pick it up over there, Rob? No. Well, we know that...
I think it may be Dino Lennox.
Yes, it is, and it's Godino deep. Godino takes the ball in at about the 15-yard line, brings it straight ahead, and powers his way across the 30, the 35, the 40, and breaks loose across the 50 into Hot Springs territory down at the 47-yard line. He was snowed under. He was done.
Looked like he was stopped completely, and he just broke free, and he's got it in a great field position now for the Benton Panthers right off the bat.
Make sure that you see that run either Sunday or Monday evening at 7 o'clock on Cable Vision 4, because Bob Edmondson is right next door to us videotaping this program, which will be shown Sunday and Monday at 7 o'clock on Cable Vision 4 here in Benton. Out come the Panthers, up to the line of scrimmage. Collett hands off to Shelnut, and he smashes forward across the 45 down to about the 41 or 2-yard line.
Well, they look crisp right off the bat.
They say his knee went down at the 47. So a pickup of 4 on the play, 5 on the play, make it second down and 5. Shelnut really popped that one, didn't he? Up they come, the Panthers to the line of scrimmage, split. Jake Goheen, who's in as a wide receiver, wide to the right. Collett barks the signals, turns, hands off, once again to Shelnut. He breaks a tackle, cuts it back, he's across the 35, down to the 30, and right on the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him down. What a marvelous run by Shelnut.
They really look charged up right from the start, you can tell, Bill, and that offensive line is moving out Hot Springs. They want to establish something quickly, and they're doing it right here if they can continue this work.
Dwight Everett, David McGee, Sam McCampbell, Michael Teague, and Dennis Bird all doing great yeoman work up in that offensive line, and then reading his blocks well. Shelnut cut it back and picked up extra yardage. Once again, the Panthers on the attack. Robert Godino's first carry, and he batters forward before he is covered by an avalanche of white jersey Trojans from Hot Springs for a pickup of only 2 on the play. Make it 2nd down and 8. The Trojans tonight are decked out in their white road jerseys with the maroon numerals, gold helmets, and gold trousers. And of course, you know, the Panthers have on their home maroon and gray. Up to the line of scrimmage they come again as Collett leads them up. Sets the tight formation. Turns, hands the ball off to Godino, who slashes straight ahead behind a great tackle that time by Dennis, great block that time by Dennis Bird. He only got 3, but that was a punishing 3, and it kind of let the Hot Springs defensive line know that, Benton wants that line of scrimmage.
It's no picnic tackling Godino either. He really fights. He hit, that was quite a collision right there.
Pick up a 3 on the play, or 2 on the play, make it 3rd down and 6 yards to go for the Panthers. Collett fakes. Now he pitches back.
Good catch.
With the football, it's Godino, and I'll tell you how he grabbed onto that one, I'll never know. As the ball was behind him, he reached out with one hand, plucked it in, and still was able to pick up, down to the 20-yard line, just outside the 20. So it's going to be 4th down and really inches. Give him a pickup of 5 on the play, call it 4th down and 1, but literally, it's just a matter of maybe the stripe on the nose of the football not being long enough this time.
Here's another factor, establishing something right off the bat.
The clock says 8 minutes and 59 seconds. They've already used over 3 minutes of this first quarter. Have the Panthers. There's a straight-ahead plunge on a quarterback keep by Collett. Brad Collett makes it straight ahead on the QB sneak. Picks up the needed yardage plus 1. Give him a pickup on the play of 2 yards. 1st down, 10 to go from the Trojan 19-yard line. 1st and 10 from 19.
That was that quarterback sneak that Benton likes to run. Looked like Collett was a little taken by surprise on that one because Everett fired out, and usually Collett comes right behind him, but he was a little bit slow on that, but he did get the 1st down.
Collett turns, hands the ball off to Robert Godino, who bounces off tacklers, takes tacklers with
Look at him go.
Struggles for the end zone and is finally brought down at about the 6-yard line.
He literally dragged 3 players, 4 down the line of scrimmage. That was quite a run.
Literally pinball through the secondary of the Hot Springs Trojans that time as he bounced off tacklers, and with tacklers draped around his waist, and took it down inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. Call it the 7-yard line for another 1st and 10, 8:19 on the clock. And we have a momentary timeout as Robert Godino changes his shoes. So with 8:14 left to play here in the first quarter and no score, but the Panthers on the march, let's hear these important messages. As we come back, let's point out the fact that Dwight Everett on that run by Godino was doing yeoman work helping that pile move.
It really did. He and Godino both, they really moved the pile, literally.
Chris Ramsey's in at tight end. Straight ahead. This is Godino behind great blocking, but look at him power.
Again, the strength, just moving it through.
He had 3 or 4 white jerseys in front of him, and he bowed his head deeply, not in genuflect, but in sheer strength, and pushed him back about 2 yards. So he picked up, I think that's closer to the 4, don't you?
Yeah.
Rather than the 2. They've got him marked at the 2 on the scoreboard, but the ball is now at the 4-yard line, so it's 2nd down, goal to go from the 4. Pick up on the play of about 1 yard, maybe 2. Here we go. Collett rolls to his left, looks for somebody to throw to. He's going to get caught and thrown unceremoniously for a big loss all the way back outside the 5-yard line to about the 10. So there's a loss on the play of 6 yards. It now becomes 3rd down, goal to go. And Brad Collett really got roped that time.
That was James Traylor, the big defensive tackle and one of the top linemen in the state, who got through there and had Collett on the roll and was able to pin him down, throw him down, literally.
Taylor was big, and he was fast, and he was mobile, agile, and hostile on that play. Collett brings him up to the line of scrimmage again. Everett looks. Collett wants to throw. Collett throws for the end zone, just over the outstretched fingertips of Jake Goheen. And the ball falls incomplete, so it'll be 4th down and goal to go from the Hot Springs 10. You have to wonder, did the timeout take away a little momentum?
It could have, may have. They certainly haven't moved it like, well, they had that first play afterwards. They moved the pile, and they moved it in a little closer. That big play by Traylor had more to do with it than the timeout, I think.
A lot. Jamie Jones into the ball game. He splits wide to the left as Jake Goheen comes to the sideline. Chris Ramsey out, put Drew Yoakum back in at tight end. Fake. Here's the reverse around to Jamie Jones. He's trying to get through. He bangs, and then he's belted and knocked down at the 5-yard line. He banged into a defender and tried to bowl him over, and then he was hit from behind. Looked like coming over on the hit was James Bowie, a linebacker who goes both ways and plays guard on offense. So the ball goes over on downs to Hot Springs, but the key thing there and the important thing to know is that the Panthers ran about 5.5 minutes off that clock in that drive.
And now their defense needs to stiffen up and keep them down here. Give Benton a chance to come back with good field position again. Keep Hot Springs pinned, because field position in a game this even really makes a difference.
Kelsey Dedman is not starting tonight because, as you heard the coach say in the pregame show, he missed Monday, but he will play. Quarterback David White breaks it out across the 20 to the 23-yard line on a very simple option read play. He cut behind great blocking over there by his big offensive tackle, James Taylor, who seems to do everything right for Hot Springs, and easily punched it forward for a pickup on the play of about 17 yards. So it's 1st down, and 10 to go from the 22 of the Hot Springs Trojans. And once again, the Panthers try to dig in and stop him. Quick turnaround hand to Washington. He breaks it. He's out over the 30 to the 35, still works his way forward, and is finally brought down by a whole host of maroon-colored jersey Panthers, but not until he gets the ball all the way out to the 38-yard line for another 1st and 10. That's what he meant. Fast, quick.
They're fast and they're strong. As you can see on that offensive line, they're opening up some big holes. They've got some size up there, and they've exhibited that so far early on.
Steve Davick was the man who threw the big block that time to spring Washington. Washington, the tailback. Up in under center is David White. White looks right, looks left, big split, standard I formation. Hopping straight through on a power play was Philip Childs, the fullback, as he tendered the middle of the line, only to be met by Greg Mundy. And Greg proved to be a match that time, but not until there was a pickup on the play of about 3 yards. 2nd down, 7 to go.
Hot Springs likes the tossed pitch. They haven't used it yet. They're trying to establish something in the middle, and they're doing a good job of it so far.
David White, the quarterback, works his way down the left side of the line, steps through the line of scrimmage, is uncontested till he gets inside Panther territory at the 47, and he's finally knocked to the ground. But at the 45 of Benton, and coming over to make the tackle was Will Connell. But you can't have your secondary, your cornerbacks, and your safeties making tackles.
They're doing a good job, he's doing a good job of reading that option play. And Benton's going to have to tighten up on him.
Up they come to the Trojans to the line of scrimmage. Working left this time is the quarterback, David White. Not a whole lot there. As coming over to make the tackle was number 23, Roger Barker. As Roger read that pretty well also.
He did.
Kind of spoiled the option for him.
The Panthers have to be so conscious of that outside game. Mike Washington is one of the best backs in the state. He really is a good one. And so far he hasn't touched the ball yet. They're really conscious of him. that has enabled White to hurt them.
He's big and he's mobile. White, this time on the pitch option to Washington. He's gone, folks. You can turn out the lights. Washington is gone for the touchdown. Washington goes 43 yards untouched into the end zone for the touchdown. And no sooner had you said it than it came to fruition. The score, with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in this first quarter, 6-0 Hot Springs, and they'll have to do something to stop that.
He's something special, and that was their first toss pitch, and he just broke through the seam and went. There was great blocking on that play.
Chris Flan is in to try the extra point. The ball's down. The kick is up. Kick's good. So it's 7-0 with 3:47 to go, with the Trojans of Hot Springs leading the Benton Panthers. We'll be back with more Panther football after these commercial messages. On the kickoff, Robert Godino brings the ball out from the 11-yard line to the 25, where the Panthers will put it in play 1st and 10. And now again, they need to get a good drive going, but they also need to get it into the end zone.
Shows you how quickly things can turn when a team is as explosive as Hot Springs is. They took the ball over at the 5-yard line and went 95 yards in little time at all.
And I mean, they made it look easy.
Changed the game. Now,
yes.
Benton's breaking the bone on this one. We'll see what this means.
Coming out wide to the right is Jamie Jones. Here's a reverse handoff to Shelnut, and Shelnut picks his way through the defense of Hot Springs out across the 35 to the 37, 38-yard line. Pickup of 13 on the play. 1st down 10 for the Panthers. The Panthers look good on offense.
They do.
They really do. They
I'll
look
tell you,
crisp.
Bill, on defense, they may have really missed Kelsey Dedman on that last series, too. Dedman didn't start the game, was out the first series. You can expect him to play quite a bit in this game. We'd probably see him in the next defensive series, but he has had some sickness, and Jared Hambrick made the start.
Here we go. Panthers back on the attack. Second man through is Shelnut. He bounces off 2 tacklers and pounds the ball ahead for 9 more yards, taking it all the way out to the 47-yard line, where it's 2nd down and 1 to go. And Shelnut looked awfully good on that play. That's 2 straight for him.
He's really run well so far in this game, and we can expect that from both of these seniors. They realize how big this game is. This is their chance for a conference championship.
Jake Goheen is in. He splits wide to the left. Tight wishbone offense. Standard bone. Collett hands the ball off to Godino. Godino has the 1st down as he belts his way out close to the 50-yard line before he's snowed under once again. And they're waving 1st down there. For a minute, I thought he was waving fumble, and the ball belonged to Hot Springs. Whoa.
That'll catch your breath.
Yes, caught my breath. I looked down and looked up, and he was waving, and I thought, oh, thank goodness. Ball's marked at the 49. They did not give him the 50-yard line. So mark the ball at the 49-yard line, 1st down and 10, 49 of the Benton Panthers, as once again the Panthers go on offense. It's Collett, the quarterback. He fakes and hands. Now he pitches back to Godino. He's across the 50, down to the 45, where he's grabbed by his shoulder pads and thrown very unceremoniously out of bounds by Ronald Dupree.
Kind of caught him from behind, got him by the shoulder pads, and kind of dragged him down. Pick up a 5 yards. Tony Hester's in there on the offensive right tackle now for Benton.
Hot Springs starts 6 people that go both ways. You'd think that'd wear on them, but perhaps they're in as good a condition as the Panthers are. We know how well conditioned they are. Minute and 29 left here in the first quarter. 7-0 Hot Springs. Panthers have the ball. 2nd down, 5 to go. Collett has the ball knocked away from him, and then he falls on it as coming through to hit the offensive tackle was Philip Childs of Hot Springs. He stood the tackle up, and just as Collett turned to moved the ball down the line of scrimmage. He was hit. His hands hit his offensive tackle. The ball popped loose, but he quickly got on it. Loss of 2 on the play, make it 3rd down and 7.
That makes this a big play.
Big play. Will they throw it? Will they go with it? Let's watch and see. Collett calls the signals. Fakes. Hand fakes to Goheen. Now he looks deep. He wants to throw. He had a man deep and open was Jake Goheen, but coming in front right at the very last instant was number 24 of Hot Springs, John Hodges, who's in on defense. And John just barely deflected the view, and Goheen was unable to pull the ball in, so the Panthers are going to have to turn it over on downs. They'll have to punt it away. And that's not exactly what Coach Dwight Fite had in mind, huh?
Well, again, with a decent punt, they'll have Hot Springs pinned back. And, again, field position is important in a game against, with 2 teams this good.
Chris Ramsey's been averaging 35 yards a punt. This one is not going to be very good. He kind of got it off the side of his foot, and they mark it out of bounds at the Hot Springs 27-yard line, where it becomes 1st down, 10 to go for Hot Springs from their own 27. And had Chris been on target with his average, the ball would have been around the 15. So you can see that's a 12 plus for Hot Springs without even hardly trying. Into the ball game is Kelsey Dedman, number 60, and he's pacing. He looks like he's anxious to hit somebody, and he's going nose to nose with Jamie Taylor. Let's see what happens. Out they come. David White, the quarterback, turns, fakes, gets his man on a little cutback play. That was Philip Childs, the fullback, and he ran a simple across-the-grain cutback and picked up 8 yards on it. So it's 2nd down and 2. And we have just 10 seconds left in this quarter. I don't believe they'll get a play away, so at the end of the 1st quarter, the score reads Hot Springs 7, Benton nothing. We'll be back with 2nd quarter action after these commercial messages. As we come back to action here at C.W. Lewis Stadium on that play, the first play of the 2nd quarter, David White, the quarterback, started to option to his right. He was trapped in the backfield, made a couple of very good moves, and proceeded and progressed out very close to a 1st down.
They're going to measure to see if he made it here.
Excellent moves by Mr. White that time.
He's a sharp quarterback, a good leader. One of the main differences in this year's Hot Springs teams and those in the past. A good leader at quarterback. Not that they didn't have a good leader before, but he's exceptional in that area.
He got enough to get the 1st down, so it becomes 1st and 10 for the Panther, or for the Trojans rather, from their own 38-yard line. 1st down, 10 to go from the 38. And we've only seen a half minute erased from the clock here in the 2nd quarter. White, the quarterback, out of the eye. He hands to Washington, who's ganged up and banged up and knocked down for about a 1 or a 2-yard loss. Let's see who's getting up off the bottom of the pile. Looks like Bill Mundy, the nose guard. Number 36, Greg Mundy, rather, getting off the bottom of the pile. He
Mundy
read
is
that
one of the best nose guards in the conference, and he showed it there by getting penetration against the Hot Springs center, Pat Reed, who's a good one. He's been doing a good job tonight.
Up they come to the Trojans, 2nd down and 11. Loss of 1 on that last play. White fakes to the 1st man, hangs onto the football. Now he pitches out as he was going down. Washington gets it. He has the 1st down out across the 50, and White was hit and was down, and he still got the ball away.
He was just all but down. Did a good job, an excellent job.
I thought he was on his shoulder. What a great defensive play that time by Kelsey Dedman that went for naught because of White's athletic ability. And he does have athletic ability. How he found Washington out there with bodies draped on him, I'll never know. So it's 1st down, 10 to go from the 49-yard line of the Benton Panthers as once again the Hot Springs Trojans move the football. Quick handoff to the fullback, banging up the middle, Philip Childs, and he takes the ball down inside the 45 for a pickup on the play of 4 yards, let's call it. Second down and 6 as the ball is just barely across the 45-yard line.
We talk a lot about how good Benton's offensive line is. Hot Springs has got a very good one too, and really that's a cornerstone of a good team. They're really showing it here tonight against a strong defensive front for Benton.
They're using just simple trap blocks, but they're very effective the way they're running their offense. Here we come again. Hot Springs up, back to throw is White. He's being chased and grabbed, and it's slowed up, and he gets away. Now he's got almost an open field as he moves to his right. Coming up to face him and to belt him to the ground was Will Connell, and the man who almost got him in the first place, Bill Lincoln. Lincoln had him in the secondary, way back deep for a 10 or 15-yard loss.
Again, we saw the athleticism of White. Lincoln had a shot at him. Greg Mundy had a shot at him. He got away from those guys. Will Connell did a great job of squaring up and taking control of the play away from White. And he made the initial stop, and Lincoln trailing the play. He continued to hustle and got in on the tackle from behind.
Bill Lincoln had to run 45 yards on that play to get back in on that tackle. Loss of 1 on the play, third down and 11. White moves out. He's hit. He's grabbed. He's knocked down. As coming up with a big play was Roger Barker. Roger Barker was not to be denied that time. White did everything but get away, but Barker had him by the jersey and threw him to the ground for no gain. So it's 4th down and 11 yards to go for Hot Springs. And listen to the hand the defense is getting as
a big defensive
the
series there for Benton. They needed to stop them, and they did. Interestingly, Hot Springs' first chance they really had to go to the passing game, and it backfired on them. Benton really played it well. Kind of a carryover from the second half against Watson Chapel. They did a good job.
Robert Godino and Jake Goheen are deep. It's Goheen coming over to field the punt. He gets it at about the 18, takes it out across the 20, 25, where he's knocked out of bounds. But it's first down, 10 to go for the Benton Panthers from their own 25 with 8:18 left to play in this second quarter. And I got to feel that defensive stand by the Panthers has got everybody up.
I'm sure that it's charged up the offense. They have been moving the ball very well so far. They haven't got anything to show for it yet. And if they needed any further charging up, they've certainly got it here.
There is a goodly crowd on hand tonight to see this football game on both teams well represented. Of course, the near side here, the east side of the stadium is filled. The west side, about 2/3 filled with Hot Springs backers who came up for the ball game. Handoff to Godino. Godino wrestles and fires his way forward for a pickup of about 4 on the play, bringing the ball out close to the 29-yard line. Mark it at the 29, call it second down and 6. Pickup on the play of 4. And again, they're running behind the offensive blocking of David McGee and Sam McCampbell. And Michael Teague over there doing super work. That offensive line is. It's the kind of blocking they've been getting all year. It's the power game, which is what the Panthers really excel at. Quarterback Everett is down. Collett fires, turns, hands off, up the middle. This is
Godino. One block. Godino gets all the way.
Go. He didn't get the block, but he takes the ball all the way down inside the 30 to the 33-yard line before he stepped out of bounds. But what a quick opener, and great read of the blocking by Robert Godino that time. That was vintage Godino.
That was a fine run.
And an excellent block thrown at the line of scrimmage to break him loose by Sam McCampbell. Sam McCampbell, Michael Teague, Dennis Bird all did yeoman work up front that time. And of course, Mr. Everett. Don't ever leave out that center. I think that's the most skilled position on the football team. 7:30 left here in the second quarter. Collett turns, fakes. Now he's being pinned and knocked down as he moved to his right. That looked like Heath Nix in there. He's not in on offense, is he?
Could be. That was Drew Yoakum, 37?
37 it was, not 77. It was Drew Yoakum trying to throw the block, and it was it was not successful.
He had Godino on the open for the option pitch, but couldn't really get the pitch away under duress. He was in a crowd, so it's good that he held on to it, even though he lost a couple of yards.
Had no opportunity to pitch. There was a loss of 2 at second down and 12. Hand off to Godino. He fights his way forward. That was Kurt Shelnut that time on the carry. As Shelnut takes the ball down inside the 35. They're going to put the ball down at the 31, rather, or the 26. Let's get it spotted right, William. At the 26-yard line, where he picked up 4 on the play, make it 3rd down, 7 yards to go for a first down. Big play coming up for the Panthers as that clock continues to move. 6:25 left in the second quarter. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Panthers. The defense spreads wide to cover Goheen, who split wide left. Here's Godino, straight up the middle, across the 20, down. Well, they say his knee touched at about the 21-yard line. As Robert Godino just simply...
It's going to make it a 4th down.
Powered ahead. It's going to make it 4th and 2, but I think they're going to go for it.
It was just a step away from breaking that one all the way up the middle. Good block on that one by Dennis Bird, and on that side, David McGee as well.
Chris Ramsey.
And don't forget Everett.
Chris Ramsey into the ball game. And Chris will now split wide to the left. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Randy Wright has not touched the football tonight. This might be a good place for him. Fake, fake, and this is Collett. Collett is trapped, and he falls across the 20. And I think it's going to be close, but I think he's going to be well short.
I don't know if that was a good decision, but under the circumstances, he had to do what he could do.
He faked to Wright going through the line of scrimmage. The first fake is always to the fullback, and he had Robert Godino trailing again on the play, but he decided to read and run forward, and he brought the ball straight up and was hit just at the line of scrimmage, fell forward. Now, did he get enough? I don't think he did. I think he's going to be about a half-yard short, but I haven't really that good a perspective on the play. And he is short by about a half-yard. So the ball goes over to Hot Springs with 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to play here in this first quarter. The score, Hot Springs 7, or second quarter rather, it's Hot Springs 7. The Benton Panthers 0. Let's take 30 seconds for this message. On the first play from scrimmage, Hot Springs gives the football to their excellent tailback, Mike Washington, and he found nowhere to go, no gain, 2nd down 10.
Again, good penetration by the defensive front.
And excellent reads by the secondary on that. Did you see who made the tackle that time?
I didn't.
I believe that the man to do the tackling was Will Connell, but I don't know. Here's the pitch back to Washington. He's looking, he has some room, but he's being hemmed in. He gets by Connell, and he's out. He needs a block, he had a block and could have gone a very long way, and he stumbled over the 30-yard line and fell to the ground untouched at the 31. That's a first down. Boy, he's elusive. They had him in the backfield, and he just kept squirting away from people. And I don't know how you teach that, but every back that Hot Springs has seems to, when they get in trouble, cut back against the grain.
Well, when you got the speed that they have, their ability to change directions is really a major factor.
First down, 10 to go from the 31-yard line of Hot Springs for the Hot Springs Trojans. White starts left. Now he tries to cut it back. He eludes 2 tacklers, breaks a tackle, and is finally hauled out from behind by Kelsey Dedman. And Kelsey literally made a last-ditch effort to get in there, because if he hadn't have done it, Mr. White would have gone a very long way. We have a injured Trojan on the field. Number 67, Pat Reed, the center, is holding his thigh and his ankle. We're going to get somebody coming out to replace him. So while we get that injury replacement with 3:49 left to go in the second quarter, and the score reading 7-0 in favor of Hot Springs, let's take time for these commercial messages. It's 48 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Hot Springs back to the attack. They have a new center in the ball game. Brian McMichael is in at center now. White fakes, turns, reads, looks to pitch, can't pitch. Now he's caught and belted down. And a great defensive play that time by the whole right side of the Panther line, and coming up to make the tackle was Roger Barker. He's playing an outstanding defensive game this evening.
He made a good play there. That White started to make the cutback, and Barker just made a decisive tackle and pinned him before he could even get reversed.
Loss of 2 on the play, second down, 12 to go for Hot Springs. Leading them out is their new center McMichael. The quarterback is David White. White fakes, now he hands off to his fullback, pounding through. That's Philip Childs on the carry, and Childs picks up about 5, so it's going to be 3rd down and 7 to go. Give him a pickup of 5 on the play, call it 3rd and 7 from the Hot Springs 44-yard line. As into the ball game now is Dino Lennox. He replaces Dwayne Black, the split end. Let's see which side Lennox goes to. Lennox comes to the near sideline, splits right, as David White, the quarterback, once again brings him up. He looks, he wants to throw to the man who just came in the ballgame, but he throws underneath the coverage. Ronald Dupree on the catch, and Dupree takes the ball down inside Panther territory to about the 42-yard line, where it becomes 1st and 10 for Hot Springs with 2:18 left to play here in the second quarter. Oh boy, good read that time by White and an excellent pattern by Dupree. Everybody went deep with Black, or with Lennox rather, and he threw to the underneath coverage.
Hot Springs not known for its short passing game, but they read that one real well.
White moves to his left, pitches out to Washington. Washington's got running room. He's down the left sideline, free at the 20, and finally knocked out of bounds by Jake Goheen at about the 18 or 19-yard line. White is, this guy, Washington, is so quick.
He made a great catch of that pitch, caught it one-handed, and just skated down the sideline.
Had it in front of him. He coming over on the, attempting to make the tackle, was Roger Barker. Roger had a good angle on him, as did Shane Smith, the cornerback, and it took Jake Goheen from his safety position to make the tackle. So it's 1:48 to go. Straight ahead handoff once again to the fullback, Philip Childs, and Childs grinds it out, takes it down very close to the 15-yard line before he's snowed under. Pick up on the play of 3. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. The clock continues to run. We're down to 1:30 to go here in this first half.
Bill Lincoln with a good hard hit on that one to make the tackle on Childs.
One thing about the Panthers, they will hit you. And tonight that's been kind of tough to do because of the elusiveness of these Hot Springs runners. White to his left, cuts it back. Somebody better get him or he's going to go as he takes the ball down inside the 5-yard line. And once again, the safety, Shane Smith and Jake Goheen, come over to make the tackle. But not until White gets another 1st down and takes the ball inside the Panther 5-yard line. 1st down, 10 to go from the 3 with 1:08 to go, and Hot Springs wants a minute to talk it over. So with the score reading, Hot Springs 7, Benton nothing. Let's hear these commercial messages. There's 1:08 left to play here in the first quarter, or the first half of this ball game between the Benton Panthers and the Hot Spring Trojans. And Hot Springs once again knocking on the goal line. Coming up to the line of scrimmage are the Trojans. Spreading out on defense, that's the Panther. It's White, the quarterback. He calls the signals, looks right and left. Very deliberate call this time, straight ahead on a quarterback sneak, and a multiplicity of maroon jerseyed Panthers avalanche him, but not until he picked up about 1 on the play, making 2nd down, 2 to go, as the clock continues to run with 50 seconds left to play here in the first half. I'd be watching Washington with an eagle eye, I'm afraid.
Benton, if they could make a stand here, I tell you what, this time running out on the clock.
Go into the dressing room only trailing by 3. There's Washington. He has it. Ooh, he was, yeah, they said he got across. I don't know whether he did or not. It was hard to tell from this angle, but he apparently broke the plane as the referee, the official, threw both arms in the air, the man closest to it. And it's a touchdown for the Hot Springs Trojans, and they are now in the lead by a score of 13-0. And they're really making it look easy, Rob.
Well, they're a very talented team. We'll see if they kick the extra point here.
Crick Splon in to kick. Kick is up. Kick is good. And it's 14-0 in favor of Hot Springs. With 30 seconds remaining here in the first half, Hot Springs leads the Benton Panthers 14-0. Now, hear this. We're back to action here with 30 seconds to go, and although the Panthers have not broken one for a touchdown all year, this would be a great spot for it, wouldn't it? Here's the run-up and the kick. It goes to Jamie Jones. He drops the football. Now he picks it up. He's hemmed in, cornered in, and knocked down. Jamie Jones caught the ball, then dropped it, then picked it up, tried to move it forward. He only got it out to about the 17-yard line, so it's first down, 10 to go for the Panthers with, well, 83 yards to go for a touchdown?
About that.
Only 83 yards.
I don't expect them to do a whole lot here. They're really being 14-0 down is not too bad. I think Coach Fight would like to be a little bit closer, but being this close at the half, he considering where they, there's a
pitch, the flea flicker, the ball's on the ground and finally covered as the Panthers tried very hard to do a flea flicker move back there that might have resulted in something, as the ball was pitched back to Brian Holter, and Brian lost the handle on it. It fell to the ground, but fortunately the Panthers covered it, but also, equally as fortunately, the clock ran out. The teams are on the field. I'm Bill Powell along with Rob Patrick. We're almost ready for the kickoff to start this second half. Heath Nix will do the kicking. The deep man for the Hot Springs Trojans is number 34. That's Jervy Davis, who is the starting wingback.
He is a sprinter, too. He's one of the top young sprinters in not only in the state, but in the country. He's a junior AAU sprinter, and he can burn it up. And it looks like Heath is teeing up the ball on the side, so it'll probably be a squib kick of some kind to try to keep him from getting a full head of steam when he returns the ball, if he does return it.
John Brewer just came on the field. He replaces Jake Goheen on the special team, the kickoff team. He'll be nearest to Heath Nix as Heath runs up. Here's the kick. It's on the ground, squibbed down, taken, fumbled, and finally pounced on as the man coming up to make the recovery for Hot Springs was number 38. That's George Watson or Wilson, I believe. Walston, get it right. George Walston covered the kick, and he downed the ball at about the 28-yard line, 27-28. But with Washington and the other guys back there, that's a good place to start. It leaves them 72 yards away from the end zone, and at least that's better than closer than that. Up we come. Hot Springs on the attack. White, the quarterback, hands off to his fullback, and we get our first flag of the night.
And a fumble.
As the ball is loose, they're saying that the ground cannot cause a fumble, so it's no fumble. But
well, I'll tell you, that was close to being a real fumble because he was hit from behind. Looked like he coughed it up. But as you say, it may have been that they ruled the ground caused the fumble.
The linesman pointed straight down, but it's holding against Hot Springs. There was a pickup on the play of 3 yards, so undoubtedly we'll see this one taken back as they now talk to Kelsey Dedman and also to Roger Barker. And they're picking up the football, picking up the flag, and they will walk backwards and mark off the penalty as they come back to the line of scrimmage. And let's see where referee Ernie Deaton puts the ball down finally. He knocks it down at the 17-yard line. So it's first down and 20. A 10-yard penalty on the play. Put it at the 18-yard line. First and 20 for Hot Springs. And that might be the boost that the Panthers needed. And especially if they can knock the ball loose once.
The way they've been playing the pass so well, rushing the passer, setting Hot Springs in a passing situation may be an advantage.
They go on a wide pitch out to Washington. It's pretty well read and stacked up and knocked down.
Nicely done by Shane Smith containing that play.
Shane Smith that time, instead of setting back, moved forward.
Really forced the issue, yeah.
And he did force the issue. The last 2 times they ran that wide sweep, Shane had been going with the flow from his cornerback spot. That time he came up to meet the rush and knocked the ball carrier down Washington for a loss of 1 on the play. It is now second down and 21 to go. Dwayne Black, the split end, splits wide to the right. Power I formation with Jerby Davis in the slot. Back to throw. This is White. He looks, he throws, he completes to Davis. And Davis is out across the 25. And we're going to get Lincoln for a late hit. As one official threw the flag, the second one ran in and said, well, I'll join in the play and I'll throw a flag also. Pickup of 11 on the play, and the late hit will call a personal foul penalty, will move the ball even further ahead. And it was called against Bill Lincoln as he came over to cover a hustling Jerby Davis, who was down. I think it was a good call, Rob.
Okay.
The fans didn't like it, but you know that's a little close. They're going to mark off 10 yards, and that'll make it a first and 10. As they picked up on that play, 21 yards, 10 on the penalty, 11 on the pass. So it's first down, 10 to go. Spot the ball at the 43-yard line of Hot Springs. And Benton now needs to dig in, but they are hitting with a little more authority here in the second half. White, the quarterback, fakes, hands off to his fullback, Childs, and Childs belts the ball out across the 50, down to almost the 45, marked the ball at the 46-yard line for another first down pickup on the play of 11 yards.
That penalty had to take some starch out of Benton. They had Hot Springs pinned back.
Bill Lincoln comes to the sideline where he's talking to the coaches right now, and into the ball game replacing Lincoln. I can't read the number from this angle. First and 10 for Hot Springs. Straight ahead handoff to Childs. Childs breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, then hustles his way out across the 40, down inside the 40 to the 35-yard line for another first down before Shane Smith came up to make the tackle. So it's another first down, and now they're moving it with their fullback doing the yeoman work, are the Hot Springs Trojans.
I don't know if the Panthers can afford to get 21 points down in this game.
It might be difficult. 9:40 left to play in the third quarter. Hot Springs once again on the attack. It's White, fakes, tries to hand off and does to Childs, and Childs is knocked down after a pickup of 2 on the play. So that's the 3rd straight time they have gone to the fullback, Philip Childs. He picks up 2, make it 2nd down and 8. As that time, the play was read very well by Heath Nix, and Heath came up to make the tackle.
Nix tripped him up. Brian Holter covered him. So both of them active on that play.
2nd down, 8 to go. Here comes Hot Springs again, and coming through to corner him and knock him down, but he got the ball away, did White, on a pitch out to Washington, but there to knock down Washington was Heath Nix. And what a great play that time by Brian Holter, who came up to make the almost sack of quarterback White, but White again with that magic was able to pitch the ball off, but Washington was thrown unceremoniously for a loss on the play of 4, so it's, or 5 rather. So it's 3rd down and 13. Spot the ball at the 38-yard line of Benton, and it's Hot Springs on the attack. Back to pass is White. He looks, he lost his footing. Now he comes toward the line of scrimmage. Ball was tipped, but it's complete to Jerby Davis, the wingback. Davis was all alone in a pocket of about 5 of the Benton Panthers. He moves the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line, where it's another 1st down, and that ball was tipped as White threw it.
Again, a credit to White because he scrambled. He didn't find his first receiver. He had to scramble around. He had some rush, and he got it away, found the man who was open, and completed the pass.
Also, a good big howdy-do to the offensive line for not getting downfield on that one. They could have easily. White hands off to Childs. Childs breaks a tackle and breaks it down inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line, where there was a pickup on the play of 7, make it 2nd down and 3. And things are starting to look a little cool and dim for the Benton Panthers right now. Beautiful night for football. Temperature down in the 60s, the low 60s. No breeze to speak of. Everything is ideal for football, but it's not ideal for the Panthers at this time, as Hot Springs is having everything pretty much their own way. White hands off to Childs. Childs pops it across the line of scrimmage, picks up maybe 1 or 2 on the play before he's knocked down. Coming off the bottom of the pile was Greg Monday rather. Greg Monday was the man who came up to make the tackle. It's 3rd down and 2. 3rd down, 2 to go for Hot Springs. They're not dominating the line of scrimmage, but everything they seem to do turns to gold right at this moment. White, the quarterback, looks right, looks left. He's got Davis in the slot. Fakes a handoff to Childs, and then he's wrapped up and gets the ball away just as he's going down. Coming up to make the hit was Roger Parker. It looked like he was down and tackled, but he got the ball off to Washington, and Washington moved it very close to 1st down territory.
He may have gotten, he was just a tad shy, it looks like. But
they're going to measure. The ball is maybe all of a yard away from the chains.
Well, this White is a nifty quarterback. He's on the way down. He's pitched the ball several times. It's a risky play, but Washington's come up with it. They got the 1st down on that play. If somehow Benton could get enough penetration to knock that ball down or pick it off, they could have a big play, because he's doing it right at the last second, and it's not the best of pitches, but it's effective enough.
The thing that got me on that one was he was wrapped up by the shoulders and by the arms. He had nothing but his wrist to flip the ball with. 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Here's Washington. He's big hole, and Washington down across the 5. Inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line before he's knocked down. Micah Washington, the outstanding tailback of the Hot Springs Trojans that time, took the ball on a straight handoff, got great blocking by his offensive line, and wiped it out down to about the 2. So it's 2nd down, 2 to go for a touchdown for Hot Springs. And the Panthers pulling on their waist pads, their hip pads, trying to gird themselves up. Here's White. What'll he do? To Washington. Washington's hit and reaches across the goal line for the touchdown. Washington's body came up short of the goal line, but he reached with his hand as he was going down and broke the plane, and that's good enough for a 20-0 lead by Hot Springs over the Benton Panthers. And it's kind of a discouraged group of Panthers that are going back for this extra point attempt.
Benton's defense has been on the field a long time in this game, and well, Hot Springs, is, as you've said, pretty much had their way. They've really played well offensively. Few mistakes.
Chris Splon to try the extra point. He's been perfect on 2. He is perfect on 3. It's 21-0 with 5:31 left to play here in the third quarter. Hot Springs leads the Benton Panthers 21-0. We'll be back after this 60-second timeout.
Phillips and Jones lead for the Panthers. Returning the kickoff.
On the kickoff, Robert Godino moved the ball forward. He got it out to about the 30-yard line where he was hit very hard. He bounced off a tackler, attempted to go forward, and as he went down, there was piling on down there. And there was a penalty flag thrown as Coach Dwight Fite is out talking to everybody at this time. And to the best of my knowledge, the offense is still on the line. Personal foul called against Hot Springs. Now let's see if that works for the Panthers as it did for Hot Springs.
The late hit really keyed the last Hot Springs drive when they were pushed back quite a bit. Now a late hit will give them field position on their drive. It's 48-yard line. Godino fights and scrapes so much that it's hard to bring him down. That time, though, maybe out of frustration, the way Godino's fought and gone after it, they piled onto him, added a little hit there.
15 yards for a flagrant personal foul against Hot Springs. Straight ahead handoff. That's Godino. He's hit after he crosses the line of scrimmage, but he's not going to go down till they bring him down. And now words are being passed, and we get another penalty flag. Godino had a pickup on the play of about 6 as he moved the ball out across the 50 down to about the 47-yard line of Hot Springs. And the Panthers are saying, take it south, as Hot Springs is defending the south goal here in this third quarter. They're talking to both teams. We're going to have a conversation with both captains, and number 50, the offensive captain, Dwight Everett, is pointing south, and that's where they're marching the football.
There was a lot of jawing on that play, and maybe that something was said.
And that's 15 more as they move the ball down to the 32-yard line, where it becomes first down, 10 to go from the Hot Springs 32 with 5:04 left to play in this third quarter. That might just be the thing that fires up the Panthers. Up they come.
Like conduct, the penalty, as we expected.
Yes. Tight. Wishbone offense. Collett turns, hands the ball off to Shelnut. Shelnut breaks it across the line of scrimmage. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Benton.
That happened quickly.
Kurt Shelnut.
I was saying that they were 21 down, and that would be hard to come back on, but when they can score that quickly, 21 points may not be.
32 yards on the play by Shelnut. He stepped through the line of scrimmage, evaded a tackler, got hit by one of the Hot Springs players, shook that one off, cut it to the outside, and outran everybody to the end zone for the touchdown. And that puts Shelnut right up around that 70-plus yards mark for the evening.
That gives him 79 on the evening.
The Panthers going for 2. It's Collett, the quarterback. How's he going to go? He goes to his right on the read, tried to throw, and he's wrapped up and thrown down. He wanted to throw the football to Chris Ramsey, but Ramsey couldn't shake the defense, so the extra point attempt is no good with 4:47 left to play in this third quarter. The score reads Hot Springs 21, Benton 6. We'll be back with the kickoff in 30 seconds. Sideline limping that time. I don't know whether it's his knee or his ankle, but we'll watch him and see if he gets ready to come back in for more action. But Dennis Berg, who has played outstanding football for the Panthers all year, seems to be injured on that last play. The kickoff is about ready. It'll be Heath Nix once again kicking from a ball that's laying flat on its side. He hits a line drive that goes straight down the middle. Darren Cook picks it up, and Cook slashes his way out across the 40 to the 45, 46-yard line before he's finally brought down. The last man off the pile was Heath Nix. It's amazing. Heath plays an awful lot of football out there.
That was, I believe, Philip Childs, the regular fullback for
I thought it was 20. Was it 30?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And he almost broke that.
He darn near did. It's first down, 10 to go for Hot Springs. The ball at their own 46-yard line. And they have great field position once again. And so far, they have not been denied offensively tonight by Benton. Handoff is to Childs. Childs takes it out across the 50. Down into Benton territory at the 48-yard line before he's brought down. So it's a pickup of 6 on the play, make it second down and 4.
The Benton defense needs to make a stand here to sustain the momentum that the Benton offense was able to muster on their with that touchdown drive.
The Benton offense is over here on the sidelines pacing back and forth. They want back in the football game in a hurry. Let's see if the Panthers can give them the football. Washington straight up the middle. Bounces off a tackler. Bounces off another tackler. He's hit by 2, by 3, and finally wrestled out of bounds. But it took 3 players wearing the maroon jerseys of the Benton Panthers to get him out, but not before he crossed inside the 45 to the 42 for another Hot Springs first down. He is a marvelous runner.
The Hot Springs coaching the sidelines wanted to piling on that play, so a little jockeying with the referees going on now.
They take the ball all the way to the 41, as a matter of fact. Piling on, that's the only way they could stop him. Nobody hit him after they all had him, but it took 3 to bring him down. Here's David White, the quarterback, up to the line of scrimmage once again. He hands off, balls on the ground. Panthers got it, I believe. Fumble on the play as White did not make connections with his fullback, Philip Childs. The ball bounced, and there to pounce on it, coming up from the bottom of the pile is...
That's Greg Mundy.
Greg Mundy, the nose guard, was the first guy to get it. So the Panthers finally get a break in this football game.
That was the first mistake that Hot Springs has made, a fumble, and Benton's right back in this ball game with only 3:23 left in the third quarter. If they can take this thing and score right away and cut the lead, they can have this could be a real game in the fourth quarter.
It can be a contest. It's first down, 10 to go from the 40. Fumble! And I believe, who got it? Who got it? Benton
got back on it.
Collett fumbled the snap from the center that time. But he was fortunate that it bounced straight up in the air, and it was going the way he was going, and he was able to fall on it, but there is a loss on the play of 3, so it becomes, or 4, let's call it, second down and 14 from the 36-yard line of Benton. Ooh, that was a hard stopper.
And it's even as it is, it's going to make it tougher for Benton to move this football and establish something here.
A 34-yarder out of Shelnut wouldn't hurt anything. There's the ball. That time, there seemed to be some confusion.
I'll tell you, the big play on that one was made by the Trojan defense on that play. Let me pick out who it was. It was Andre Young. Yeah. Andre Young, the nose guard, came through and actually picked off the intended runner before he got the handoff. It was kind of a reverse angle shot to Godino, and he never got the ball, and Collett just kind of had to eat it.
Collett looked for some place to go, no place to go. He lost 1 on the play, third down 15. Brad Collett, the quarterback, fakes. He wants to throw. He's back to throw. He looks deep, and I think he's going to overthrow it. It's going to be intercepted as the ball was intended for Kurt Shelnut at about the 35-yard line. But coming over to make the interception was the Hot Springs safety. And that would be who?
Ronald Dupree made that play.
Ronald Dupree, and Shelnut was right there to knock him out of bounds, but that is not the kind of outcome that Coach Dwight Fite had wanted from this offensive unit with just 1 minute and 45 seconds left to play in the third quarter after getting what could be classified as a big break on the Hot Springs fumble. Hot Springs rose to the challenge. Now it's Benton's turn once again. Can they meet this challenge? Pitch back to Washington, looking for running room. Has it. We're going to get a holding call against Hot Springs as Washington runs out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Chasing him out of bounds was Roger Barker, but there is a flag, and it's going to be holding against Hot Springs from where they threw the flag at any rate.
Either that or a clip. There may have been a crackback block. That's what it was. An illegal block below the waist.
Okay.
Crackback.
It's kind of funny because the one official out in the middle of the field indicated holding, but the other official indicated crackback. So interesting call. No matter what, that's going to wipe out about a 8 or a 9 yard gain by Washington and move the ball backwards for Hot Springs. It'll head south toward the Spa City with the football, and they're going to mark off, what, at 10 or 15? They're going back 15 yards. So it'll be first down and 25. Blocking below the waist is the call. So it's first down and 25 for Hot Springs. Mark the ball ready for play at about the 16-yard line, 16, 17-yard line.
That was really the block
marked off 14 yards.
That was really the block that sprung the play. The wide receiver came back and blocked Will Connell.
Here's Hot Springs on the attack again. The wing back around, and the wing back, goodness gracious,
Jerby
Davis just high step, bounced and rolled and ran until he had picked up almost the entire amount that Hot Springs lost in that last exchange. They
exactly
lost 14.
That amount.
He picked up 13 and a half, call it 14, second down and 10. Boy, they always seem to come up with just the right play at the right time, don't they?
They do indeed, but again, it's still second down and 10, so Benton has a chance here to make a stand if they can stop them right away.
If they can get pumped up. Let's see what they're going to do. Back to pass is White. White's looking to throw, and White grounded the football, and he's going to be called for it. He did ground the football, no doubt about it.
Now that's a questionable call because he had a receiver in the area, though, Bill.
But he threw the ball straight into the ground.
Well, he did that.
Now, had he thrown the ball over everybody's head out of bounds, there is no call. But he threw the ball maybe 7, 8 yards in front of him directly into the ground. He spiked it like they do in the pros, which is legal in the pros, but it's not legal in high school football. So that's a loss of down, by the way, an illegal forward pass.
And they marked that penalty from the point of the foul, which is about the 13-yard line.
So they're going to mark it back and spot the ball ready to play from the 8. So it's going to be third down. I believe that's loss of down. Let's see. You betcha. It's third down now and about a mile and a quarter. The ball is at the 8-yard line. They have to come all the way out to the 41. So it's third down and 33 from the 8-yard line, and Hot Springs wants timeout. So with 24 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, the score reading Hot Springs 21, Benton 6. We'll be back in 60 seconds. I just saw Robert Godino pointing out where he got stomped on for that penalty. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
The back of his arm and the back of his leg, and he was pointing to it, and it went like this, like they stomped on me. That's what they got the penalty for. Well, we've got 24 seconds left here in the third quarter. 21-6 is the score, Hot Springs, but they come to the line of scrimmage with a third down and 34 to go from their own 8-yard line. But White and Washington, watch him. Childs, the little fullback, bangs his way out across the line of scrimmage, out across the 15 to about the 18, 19-yard line, spotted at the 19. A good pickup on the play, but it's going to be fourth down and about 23 or 4 yards to go. So a pickup of about 11 on the play, call it third down and 23. And Hot Springs with the football, that's the end of the quarter. So we'll turn it around and go the other direction. After 3 quarters of play at C.W. Lewis Stadium, Hot Springs leads the Benton Panthers 21-6. I'm Bill Powell along with Rob Patrick, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter action in 30 seconds. Trojans, the Panthers should have the ball in pretty good field position, Rob.
They'll probably go. It looks like, though, they've got 9 men on the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they go for the block here. They might. Even if they don't, they should have good field position if they can get any return at all.
Jake O'Heen and Robert Godino are deep for the Panthers as they await the punt from the Hot Spring Trojans. Here's the snap. All of them are coming. They get it away, and it is Goheen making a fair catch call, dropping a football and going down. But he went down at the 48-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 for Benton at the 48.
Kenny Gardner of Benton came real close to getting that one, but White got it away.
The coaches all wanted a call because Goheen was hit after he went down for the football that time as he was laying on it.
Could have been called for a spearing.
Could have been. Jamie Jones splits wide to the right. Panthers on the attack. Straight ahead handoff. That's Shelnut as he bangs across the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
Back to business. Going right at him.
Right. They've got plenty of time. Why not do it? 4-yard pickup on the play. 2nd down, 6 yards to go as the Panthers go back to their bread and butter type offense, and that's power on quick hitters up the middle, following the big blocks of the center and those 2 big guards that straddle each side, Dwight Everett. Collett once again calls the signals. The Panthers need something big. Here's a handoff to Godino. Robert fights his way forward for a pickup of 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 yards to go. As Robert Godino that time just wrapped the football up, took it straight ahead, picked up 3 yards on the play. It's 3rd down and 3. And I'll tell you what, no matter where the Panthers are on the field right now, they're in 4-down territory.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
They've got to go for
trailing by 15.
Up they come again. Very, very hurry-up offense for Benton now. Handoff this time to nobody as back to pass is Collett. He throws, and just as he throws, he's hit. The ball was intended for Randy Wright, but it falls to the ground. Incomplete. It's 4th down, 3 to go. And this is probably the biggest down of the football game for the Benton Panthers. It's hard to isolate one down and say that's the big one. But boy, if they ever needed to do something, at least 3 yards worth, this is it.
Hot Springs has done a good job of pressuring Collett when he's gone back to pass. He hadn't had a clean drop back to throw yet tonight.
All right.
That's why he's 0 for 4 with an interception.
Here we come. Big down. 4th down, 3 to go from the 47-yard line of Hot Springs. Collett down the line of scrimmage. No place to go. Well read and well defended by Hot Springs. They take him down for no gain.
He wanted to pitch the ball that time to Godino, but Godino was covered up. The cornerback came up and covered it nicely, and there was nothing he could do but take it as far as he could, and all that he could get was a loss of a yard.
They had the play was very well read. They put a man on Collett, they put a man on Godino, and they said, you're not going to pitch it out, you're going to have to work for it the hard way. Nothing came to pass good for the Panthers that time, so they turned the ball over on downs to Hot Springs, and once again, it's the Trojans on the attack. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Handoff to the fullback straight ahead, Philip Childs. Childs takes it out across the 45 to about the 46-yard line, 47-yard line. Pickup of 5 on the play. 2nd down, 5 to go. And Childs, golly, they come at you with a lot of different offense, don't they?
Like Benton's backs, Hot Springs backs do not go down with the first hit. They keep churning, and it takes more than one guy to bring them down.
Every time. And David White, you can see his confidence and his overall decorum. Just getting balls on the ground, and White picks it up. Now the ball is fumbled again, and this time Benton has it. It's Kelsey Deadman. The ball was fumbled twice. White picked it up, tried to roll out. He was hit again. As the ball popped loose, 2 men went for it. The first man was Greg Mundy. He tried to leapfrog one of the Hot Springs players. Couldn't come up with it, but Kelsey Deadman, with all 245 pounds in motion, came up with the recovery. So once again, the Panthers have a break. 1st down, 10 to go for Benton at the 39-yard line of Hot Springs.
With just over 9 minutes, they really need to take advantage of this one.
And Robert Godino is tripped up at the line of scrimmage on a superior tackle by Philip Childs, the fullback who goes both ways playing linebacker. And boy, he did stuff him. Pick up on the play of 1 yard. 2nd down, 9 to go. Woo, they're playing for real out there.
These are the two top teams in this conference, and they look it.
Split Jake Goheen wide to the left. Tight handoff to Shelnut. Shelnut gets down to the 35, and he's ridden to the ground by 3 of the Hot Springs Trojans. Mainly on the tackle was James Taylor and Andre Young. the two big guys on the interior part of that defensive line. Also coming up to get a piece, James Bowie.
Again, Benton in a passing situation. See what they can. They're 0 for 4 in the air tonight with 1 interception. We'll see how this one goes.
Collett, what's he got in? What's on the playbook? What are we going to get? Collett fakes, hands up, throws straight ahead, intended for Drew Yoakum, and Yoakum had his hands on it, but there, Johnny on the spot to knock him down just as he caught the ball was James Bowie, the linebacker. So it falls incomplete, and it is now 4th down and 6 to go. 4th and 6.
That was the natural play with the way Hot Springs had been covering that option pitch to fake that option and pull up and throw to the tight end, and almost completed it.
Chris Ramsey in the ball game, splits wide to the right. Collett needs a play. Fakes a handoff. He's going to be hit from behind. The ball is on the ground. Robert Godino picks it up and saves it from a turnover, but he's knocked down at the 45 for a loss on the play of about, 9, I guess. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Hot Springs, who have really come up with the big plays defensively when they've needed them tonight. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line of Hot Springs. The Trojans have the football. You got to be honest about it. Hot Springs has played an outstanding football game.
They have. They really look good.
Here they come to the line of scrimmage. Do the Panthers have one more miracle on that defensive unit? Childs takes the fake, and White keeps and carries. Kelsey Dedman rode him down with a little help in there from Greg Mundy, but not before he made a pickup of 2 on the play. 2nd down, 8 to go from the 48-yard line, 47-yard line. 2nd down, 8 to go from the 48. And boy, it looks almost like it ought to be the 47. Maybe a yard and a half on that one, give him 2. Here we come. To the line of scrimmage are the Hot Springs Trojans. Back and now handing off to Washington, who saw a hole and accelerated. And boy, he was kind of just drifting toward the line of scrimmage until he saw that hole, and he just put it in 2nd gear, took it across the 50 down to the 44-yard line of the Panthers for a 1st down and 10 for Hot Springs. I can't say enough good things about Michael Washington. What a player. I don't think you can say enough good things about the whole Hot Springs football team. It's a very good football team.
They are indeed. They came to play tonight, and they are in control. 21-6 with 6:40 left to play.
Time running out. They own the clock and they own the football. Washington again. This time he's met at the line of scrimmage, tripped up initially by Aaron Windsor, and then coming over to finish him off was number 23, Roger Barker. But pick up on the play of a yard, 2nd down and 9. And Hot Springs now in absolutely no hurry to get anything done. The 25-second clock ambles its way down toward 0 with 6 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in this football game. At the line of scrimmage, Hot Springs, ball's on the ground. Who got it this time? It was White. White recovered his own fumble and maybe picked up a yard on the play. Move the stake, don't move the stake. No pickup on the play, 3rd down and 9. 3rd down, 9 yards to go. It's funny, they hadn't made a mistake in the first half. They made a bunch here in the second half, but it hadn't hurt them.
That's right. It's they've been on the spot. Everything, the bounces have mostly gone their way.
Up they come to the line of scrimmage again. White back to throw. He wants to pass. He does. He's got a man wide open. He catches the football. Does. Mr. Brown, the wingback, where he is inundated by a whole host of Panther tacklers, but not until he moves the ball very, very close to that 1st down stake. And Jerby Davis was the receiver. And Davis, I believe, has enough for a 1st down, and he does. Jerby Davis. How many passes he caught tonight, Rob?
That's his 2nd catch.
2nd catch, and both of them have been long.
Big plays.
Big plays on crucial downs. When you're hot, as the man used to say. 1st down, 10 to go. Hot Springs from the Benton 34 with the football. This time it's Childs, and he goes nowhere. Matter of fact, he loses a yard. Back to the 35. Spot the ball at the 35-yard line. Call it 2nd down and just over 11. Make it 12 yards to go. 2nd down and 12 as the band down front and the pom-pom girls all get up and extol the defense to hang on, hold on, and give the football back to the offense one more time. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left in this football game. 21-6. Benton trails the Hot Springs Trojans. White, the quarterback, rolls to his left, looks to throw, falls down. White fell down, and that was not comical, but it was comical. Working hard to avoid landing on him was Greg Mundy and also Bill Lincoln. Bill was shoved into a prone David White, and he's pointing to the offensive lineman of the Hot Springs Trojans, saying, "He pushed me down, ref. I didn't fall on him to pile on." Loss on the play of about 7. They get 3rd down and 18 from the 41-yard line. 3rd and 18 from the 41 for Hot Springs, from the Benton Panther 41. White, once again, wants to throw. He's got a man. Now he's got a lane wide open, and he's running it to the near sideline. He's corralled there and taken down by Shane Smith as he gets back to very close to the original line of scrimmage. But number 20, Shane Smith, grabbed a handful of jersey and made sure he didn't let go.
He had a lot of room to run, but Shane Smith made up some ground on him as he tried to cut it across the field to the left. Made a good grab of him to bring him down.
As my teenager would say, made a serious effort that time to get to it.
Yes.
Serious effort. And he did just that, but the clock continues to run. We're down to 3 minutes to play here in this 4th quarter, and the clock runs down now. 4, 3, 2. Timeout called, Hot Springs, as they want to talk over what they're going to do on 4th down and 10 with 2 minutes and 58 seconds left to play. We'll be back with the Hot Springs decision after this 60-second timeout.
dogs and popcorn, half price. Hot dogs and popcorn, half price in the concession stand.
2 minutes, 58 seconds remain on the clock. Hot Springs with a 4th down and 10 from the Benton 34-yard line. They're at the line of scrimmage. They're going to go for it. I don't know whether they'll throw or run. They do both very well. Back to pass is White. He looks downfield. He has an alley. Now he throws the football to Washington out of his hands. Incomplete. And Washington may well have had another first down because the closest man to him was Cliff Phillips out on the left corner. And Phillips had to work very hard to come up and stop Mr. Washington. And in open field, that's not easy to do.
Indeed. 2:50 left in this game. Benton takes over here. It would take a miracle, but another touchdown right here quickly would certainly make them feel better and give them a shot anyway.
Miracles happen. Tight wishbone offense for the Panthers. Handoff to Shelnut. He's dragged down for a 2-yard loss. Great defensive play that time by James Bowie of Hot Springs, and he has played an outstanding game on defense tonight. Also in on the tackle, James Taylor, and if you've heard that name a few times, it's with cause. He's a great player.
One of the best defensive linemen offensive linemen in the state.
He'll have a choice when his time comes to go to college.
He and Kelsey Dedman are two of the premier linemen in this state.
And both have had outstanding nights tonight. 2nd down, 11 to go for Hot Springs before the Panthers. Pass intended for Jake Goheen, and Jake Goheen missed the football, and he is speared literally right in the solar plexus by number, I want to say it was 73 that did it.
I think it was Bowie, 56.
Was it Bowie? Bowie speared him right in the middle after the ball was already over his head.
I'm not sure if
they've thrown a flag, and I don't know what they're going to call. Maybe spearing.
Maybe.
Spearing
that would be the only
rules.
That would be the only play. Personal foul.
Personal foul against Hot Springs, and will they mark it off from the spot of the foul or from the line of scrimmage? They're going back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So if it's 15 yards, that'll be a first down with 2:13 remaining on the clock.
Coach Joe Reese doesn't like that because really, it's a question. It is a fine line there on whether or not it was spearing, whether or not that's a real penalty. he didn't know that that Goheen hadn't caught the ball, and he was just trying to make a tackle. So
right, but he did hit him with the helmet in the abdomen, which I think is what the referee saw and called. Here we go, back to the attack. These are the Panthers. That's Godino rolling out for a pickup of 9 on the play as he busted out over the 50 down to the 45-yard line of Hot Springs. And now the hurry-up offense for the Panthers, and the resilient Goheen, who just was leveled, is back in the football game, splits wide to the left. Jake Goheen now at the split end, goes wide to the left, tight. Wishbone formation once again for Benton. They've only broken the bone once tonight. Up they go. Collett looks to throw. He's harassed and thrown.
Again, no time at all to throw the ball. Trailer has been something else tonight. Really has eaten up all the chance that Benton has had to throw the ball. That makes another loss.
And let me tell you, folks, he's beating David McGee, who's a pretty solid offensive guard. And he just got blew by David that time. And loss on the play back to the 49-yard line of Benton. So it's 3rd down, 8 to go for the Panthers. Big down again as the clock winds down to 1 minute even. Fake, back to pass is Collett. He throws downfield over the head of everybody, incomplete. The closest man to it was Jake Goheen, and the ball was a good 5 yards over Jake's head. So it's 4th down, 8 to go, 57 ticks left on the clock, and Collett gets up holding his right arm, his right wrist, as he was banged to the ground pretty hard after he finally let the ball go. Coming in with the play, it'll be Jamie Jones as he replaces Goheen. What are they going to go? What would you call here if you were they, Rob?
Well, they've just got to try to get a pass away. That's been a challenge tonight. They have passed 7 times and they haven't hit one. They just need to pick up the yardage however they can.
Split Jones wide to the right. Fumble on the play. Coming in to cover, I believe, was Collett. But the ball goes over on downs to Hot Springs at the 49-yard line of Benton. Matter of fact, they did not even recover the fumble. Coming up off the bottom of the pile with the fumble was Charlie Dodge. Charles Dodge, the nose guard, recovered the ball for Hot Springs. So with 53 seconds left to go, I think you can write this one in the books. 21-6 for Hot Springs. Clock is rolling down, and they're having a little trouble. They're congratulating themselves. But White comes in, sets them, gets them on course, brings them to the line of scrimmage with just 8 seconds left before the 25-second clock runs out. Down to 4, and White kneels and goes to one knee, and they're simply going to run out the clock. Let's see when they mark it ready for play again. They don't even have to run another play. The clock will run out with the final score reading. The Hot Springs Trojans 21, the Benton Panthers 6. That makes each team now 6-2 on the season, but put Hot Springs in the catbird seat for the conference championship as they now go 0-3 in the conference, and Benton drops to 2-1. Final score from C.W. Lewis Stadium, 21 for Hot Springs, 6 for Benton. We'll be back after this 90-second commercial pause.